Talk. Me. Through it. Scene 1. Ryan walked into the lounge, scanning for her friend's usual table. She spotted them huddled together, throwing back shots. Weaving through the crowd, she hopped onto the vacant stool next to Mary. "A Paloma, please," she told the waiter, already taking their next order. "What did I miss?" "We're playing When Was the Last Time," Mary said. "You state something like, when was the last time you got drunk? Whoever did it the longest ago has to drink." The waiter slid Ryan her drink. She took a bracing sip, letting the liquor numb her nerves. "I'm in." "Okay, first question." Alice leaned forward on the table with her signature weird grin. "When was the last time you went skinny dipping?" Iris shook her head, an ironic smile crossing her lips. "Girl, I'm black. We don't do all that." Ryan, Anissa, and Luke all burst out laughing at Iris's proclamation, while Mary simply shook her head. "Speak for yourself." Alice was still chuckling. "I went skinny dipping just last weekend at my cousin's lake house. The moon was so bright, you could see everything anyway." "Skinny dipping with the whole family around? Damn, you are crazy." Luke and Mary exchanged a look, accustomed to Alice's wild streak. "What happens at the lake house stays at the lake house," Alice replied, with no care in the world, her eyes shining at the memories. Mary wanted to move the game along and not get stuck on her sister's nakedness that happened in front of their grandmother. Okay, here's a better one. When was the last time you went on a date?" The group paused, reflecting back on their love lives. Ryan spoke up first. "About 4 months ago for me." Her last relationship had ended abruptly over a stupid argument, leaving her reluctant to put herself out there again. "I don't know, maybe 3, 4 years ago," Anissa chimed in. Ryan raised her eyebrows in surprise. The ever-daring woman without a date in years. "Didn't you just go on a date with that girl Tammy?" Luke asked, confused. "I don't date, Luke. I just fuck." She raised her shot glass to her lips and downed the contents in one motion, knowing she probably lost that round, the group laughing at their freaky friend. Iris looked at Ryan intrusively. "What happened with you and Amani, anyway? I thought y'all were supposed to go out on a date a few weeks ago, finally. You never told us what happened." Ryan took a long swig of her drink. She didn't really want to get into it tonight. Among all the fun, but knew her nosy friends wouldn't let it go without an explanation. "Well, she ghosted me, so..." She shrugged. "Well, forget her. She ain't all that anyway." Anissa, ever the blunt one of the group. "You need a bad bitch, Rye. Someone who knows how to have fun." "Oh yeah? And where do you suggest I find this bad bitch?" "Girl, don't even worry about it. Auntie Niz got you covered. Just sit tight. I'll figure it out." "Okay, y'all, here's another one," she said, redirecting to the game. "When was the last time you masturbated?" She grinned naughtily around the table. Most of the group's answers fell within the last 2 weeks, but Ryan procrastinated before responding again. Maybe about 6 months ago. The entire table erupted, looking at Ryan.
What?
Damn, Iris exclaimed, nearly spilling her Moscato. Hey, I've been busy. Ryan was well aware that her dating life was far from impressive, and so was her self-care routine. Anissa crinkled her forehead. So you're telling me you haven't played the guitar, DJ'd, or listened to Oops Oh My by Tweet in 6 months? What? Ryan was perplexed by all of these metaphors. Anissa exchanged funny faces with Mary and Iris. Y'all, we need to help our girl get her groove back. Look, I've tried, but I just haven't been in the mood. Ryan sighed, playing with the napkin in front of her. She knew her friends meant well, but their meddling was the last thing she needed right now. Mary, sensing Ryan's discomfort, tries to lighten the mood. Hey, we're all here for you, Rye. It's okay if you haven't been feeling it lately. No one's judging you. Just focus on yourself and what makes you happy. Leave it to Mary to know exactly when to pull back the teasing. Scene 2. Ryan stared out the taxi window, watching the city lights blur past. Anissa lounged on the seat beside her, tapping away at her phone. The tequila buzz had faded to a dull headache, leaving Ryan tired. She just wanted to collapse into bed and forget the stressful week she'd been having. Hey, Anissa's voice broke the silence. This might sound crazy, but I recently found out about this hotline that specializes in what you need. Ryan turned to her friend, eyebrows raised. What I need, and what is that? I think it might help you relax. Anissa looked purposefully at her phone as she slipped it back into her purse. Anyway, I won't push you to do anything you don't want to do, but I figured I'd share it with you. Ryan's phone vibrated with a new contact and number labeled as DJ. She glanced down to see an unfamiliar number on the screen. Her thumb hovered over the delete slide, but damn, what could it hurt? She double-tapped and sent a thumbs-up back to Anissa and slid the phone back into her pocket, still unsure if she would ever work up the nerve to call. The taxi rolled to a stop outside Ryan's building. She bid Anissa a thank you and goodnight and made her way up to her apartment, the new contact burning a hole in her phone the whole time. Scene 3. Fresh from the shower, Ryan clicked off the lights in her apartment, leaving only the glow of the streetlights outside to light her bedroom. She glided under the cool, freshly changed silk sheets of her bed. Propping herself against the pillows, she stared at the phone screen in her hand, debating on what to do with it. DJ? What kind of hotline was this anyway? She knew she should just delete it and forget whatever scheme. Anissa was cooking up. Instead, Ryan found herself saving the contact. She set the phone down on her nightstand table, the black screen reflecting her doubtful expression back at her. Did she really need help doing this? Sure, it had been a while since she properly unwound, but calling some random hotline seemed extreme. Still, Anissa's words stuck in Ryan's mind. Her friend had seemed sincere, even if her methods were unusual. With an "I'm going to regret this in 5 minutes" sigh, Ryan picked her phone back up. her leg bouncing with pent-up energy. She chalked it up to curiosity, boredom, or just the desire to do something out of the ordinary. Before she could overthink it, she dialed the new contact. The line rang once before an automated menu picked up. Welcome to Decompression Journey. Please listen closely to the following options. Decompression Journey? What the hell? As she listened to the menu options for pairing callers with decompression specialists, her doubts grew. There was an option for women seeking men, men seeking men, and every other iteration. It sounded more like a dating service than anything therapeutic. She pressed 3, the option for women seeking women. Then the menu prompted her to enter a credit card to continue. What if this was some scam? But she had already called, and damn it, she was curious now. With a silent prayer that Anissa hadn't gotten her into something shady, Ryan entered her card details. Thank you. Please state your name. After the beep, so we can match you with a specialist. Ryan, she stated clearly into the phone. Then she started cursing herself for using her real name. What had she gotten herself into? Cheesy waiting music with a heavy bass line came onto the call. Ryan tapped her fingers restlessly on her thigh as the seconds ticked by. Was this normal? How long would she have to wait? Just as she moved her thumb to end the call, a smooth, sensual voice flowed through the speaker. Hello, Ryan. She damn near hung up with that voice that stopped her in her tracks. It was like liquid honeygold, warm and sticky. She pulled the phone closer, wanting to hear it again. Hi. You sound nervous. A throaty chuckle in response. Are you nervous? Maybe. Ryan stared at her phone, surprised by the low, sexy voice flowing from the speaker. She had expected someone overly performative, putting on an exaggerated voice. Alternatively, the honey voice sounded unpretentious, normal. Well, as normal as a complete stranger trying to get you off could sound. Okay, well, tell me, why are you nervous? Well, first, I don't even know why I called this number. Ryan rushed out the words. I'm so out of my element right now, and I for sure didn't know you were going to sound like this. Like what? Ryan waited, wondering if she should continue with the silly comparison that popped into her head. Like Barry White, she blurted out. The mystery voice let out a belly laugh, but it had Ryan joining in her own giggles. I've gotten some comparisons before, but Barry White might be the first. But I'll take it as flattery. Smartass, Ryan thought, though the tense mood was starting to chill out bit by bit. So what else got you nervous, besides me sounding like a grown-ass man and all? See, I didn't even say all that. Well, you might as well. Okay, well, what's a woman that has a deep, husky voice? That's who you'll be. Me, I'm that woman. The voice on the line joked, full of sass and personality. Fair enough, Ryan conceded, with another small chuckle. They let the moment marinate in a comfortable kind of quiet. The sexy voice broke first. Are you still nervous? Ryan rolled her neck to try to relieve some of the stress still coiled there. Not as much, but you have to admit this is weird. It's only weird if we make it weird. This is just two people talking, getting to know each other. We can talk about whatever you want. What do people normally talk about? Anything, everything, the weather, music, philosophy. Ryan could envision her giving an exaggerated shrug, or we could just jump right in if you want. Ryan knew what jumping right in would entail. Just the thought made her eyes pop out of her head. Or we can just do small talk for a bit first. The woman seemed to sense her indecision. There's no rush, no right or wrong way to do this. We'll move at whatever pace makes you comfortable. That's what this is about. I want you to feel comfortable, Ryan. Okay, yeah, let's just talk for a minute. So, she continued, do I get to know your name? Sophie. Sophie, is that your real name? Or just something you use for work? It's my real name. Why? Does it sound fake or something? I don't know. It sounds very like an old Hollywood actress or something. So, first I'm an old man, and now I'm an old-ass actress. You sure know how to make a girl feel good. Okay, I'm sorry. I tend to say crazy stuff and mildly insult when I'm nervous. I thought you weren't nervous anymore. I said I wasn't as nervous, Ryan clarified. Right. I'm not usually like this when talking to women, but ... IT quote. S. Been difficult for me in the dating world lately. I feel like I've lost some of my confidence after my ex cheated on me. I've tried putting myself back out there, but the dating pool is just whack. Either people don't know how to hold a conversation, or they ghost you because they don't know how to say they're not interested. I'm sorry to hear that your ex and others are stupid because you seem like a catch to me. Really, you don't even know me. I know you called this number even though you were anxious as hell about it, Sophie pointed out. So I'm guessing you're more adventurous than you let on. Her forwardness had Ryan feeling an interesting type of way. When was the last time someone came at her with no filter? And I can already tell you've got a good sense of humor, Ryan. You made me laugh more in the past 10 minutes than I have all week. Well, I'm glad I could brighten your day with my awkward rambling. It wasn't awkward, Sophie assured. It was cute. It felt nice to be complimented so openly. Ryan's disastrous dating life had battered her self-assuredness lately. So, is this why you called? Do you need help flirting? No, Ryan rushed to clarify. My friend gave me this number after I told her that it's been a while for me, with and without the help of someone else. She cringed at having to spell it out so plainly. But Sophie just gave an understanding "I see" in response. So you want me to help with that? Ryan froze at the question posed so matter-of-factly. She knew what Sophie was implying, but the thought of crossing that line with a complete stranger made her freak out all over again. I really don't know. Can we just continue talking? We can do whatever you like, Ryan. Remember, there's no pressure here. This is your show. Suddenly very aware of her body and the effect Sophie's voice was having on her, Ryan shifted on her bed, rubbing her foot across her leg. She cleared her throat, trying to gather her scattered thoughts. Okay, yeah, let's just talk then. What do you do for work? Besides this. Wait, if this is it, then never mind. When Sophie lets out a hearty laugh, it's like a breath of fresh air for Ryan. In her mind's eye, she sees this woman she barely knows, throwing her head back, unbothered and carefree. Despite the unfamiliarity, she really enjoyed the charm in Sophie's playful spirit, and she finds herself grinning along. I do have a day job, she laughed between her words. I'm a software engineer. I have an interview next week with a new company that offers more than the shitty company I work at now. So you're a loner and a nerd who likes money. Sophie clicked her tongue. Is that what you think? Well, what do you want me to think? I'm on to you, Ryan. Sophie chuckled low in her throat. What do you do for work? I'm an accountant. See, I guess it takes a nerd to know one. They shared a laugh, the natural banter, putting Ryan at ease. I have a secret to share with you. Oh, really? Well, I'm all ears. Something about Sophie made her actually look forward to what the enticing stranger might say next. I actually wasn't planning on working tonight. Sophie dropped her voice to a secretive whisper. I had a long day at my real job and was just going to go to bed early. But I'm glad I decided to log on anyway, because now I get to talk to you. You probably say that to all your callers. Yeah, you're right. I've only said it 49 times tonight already. But who's counting? See, I knew better than to fall into your trap, Ryan joked, leaning back against her pillows, getting more comfortable and putting in her AirPods. You know, you're really easy to talk to. Thank you, Ryan. I think you are easy to talk to, too. The conversation lulled to silence for a moment before Sophie spoke up again. This may sound weird, but you don't really give off the vibes of someone who needs help with anything. Am I wrong to project that? I don't want to overstep. No, I get it. I like to think that I don't need any help, but ... IT quote S, been a minute for me, and I can't seem to get out of my head when I want to release some stress. How do you start? Start? For instance, do you touch yourself lying in bed or in the shower? Do you listen to music or watch a video? I used to do it in the shower, but Ryan felt vulnerable when asked this question, but she answered honestly. Lately, I've been trying from my bed while watching something on my phone. What's your favorite type of video to watch? You're probably going to laugh, but my favorite is a combination of either girl on girl with a strap on, or I do watch guy on girl too. Sophie hummed thoughtfully. So you like penetration? Yeah, but I still like women, she added quickly, feeling the need to make clear. Of course, of course. I got an idea if you're open to it. Ryan's curiosity got the best of her. I am. Okay, what if we pretend that we're in a relationship? We've been together for a while, and instead of you watching strangers, you can think of yourself and me. I don't even know what you look like. Ryan felt a bit silly for not having thought about it earlier. That's okay. Why don't you imagine whatever you want me to look like, whoever you want me to be? Ryan took a moment to picture Sophie in her mind, trying to envision a face to match the voice. Okay, she said, still unsure but willing to give it a try. How about you tell me what you did tonight before you called this number? Sophie suggested, steering the conversation back to something more familiar. I went out with some friends and had some drinks. Okay, what if you didn't? What if instead you had a headache and I asked if you wanted to stay home as opposed to trying to show face with your friends? Sophie continued, her voice calm as she painted a picture of a different evening. I would probably put up a fight because I hate canceling plans, Ryan confessed. Though the thought of staying in with Sophie instead of going out with friends suddenly sounded much more appealing though. Well, I would say, but you gotta put yourself first, boo. Why don't you go lay down and I'll bring you a glass of wine? I'll listen to you, but it's not going to stop me from pouting, Ryan kidded, knowing what a petty brat she can be sometimes. Well, I'll kiss your cute-ass pouty lips then. The thought of Sophie's lips on hers made her heart thump like a Manny fresh beat. Can I kiss you, Ryan? Yes. Ryan was hit with a yearning she hadn't felt in a while. I love kissing you. Sophie takes a pleasing sigh. Ryan envisioned their tongues tangling, tasting, and exploring every inch of each other's mouth. She thought of Sophie's fingers running through her hair, pulling her closer as she let out a small moan. I know you want to go out with your friends, but I really want you to take a break and let me take care of you tonight, okay? Okay. I'm going to go grab your wine. Do you like red or white? I like red. The image of Sophie bringing her a glass of wine while she rested was exactly what she needed after a long-ass day. Got it? Do you need anything else, baby? Ryan was uncertain of how to answer. The word baby had such an impact on her that she was immediately at a loss for words. No, she finally said weakly, here you go. Sophie paused, building up the scene. I noticed you guzzled it down right away. I guess you were thirsty, huh? Ryan licked her lips as she imagined the taste of the wine. Can I push you back on the bed? Yes. Ryan eased herself back on the bed. Can I take your socks off? Yes, Ryan said, giggling. Why the socks? Can I take your pants off and pull that flannel off your body? Ryan broke character for a moment. Wait, how the hell did you know I wore a flannel today? She asked, feeling a bit surprised by Sophie's intuition. I didn't. You just seem like the type. Sophie broke character too. Yes, you can take off my flannel. Ryan laughed at the comment. But I'll take off my bra because the hook is weird. She felt a bit more at ease with the situation now that they were both breaking characters. She raised up a bit to peel off her shirt and toss it at the bottom of the bed. That's fine. And while you do that, I'm gonna take my clothes off too. I only have on a tank top and joggers. What color? Ryan could almost picture her made-up Sophie in her mind, standing there, the tank top clinging to her body, the joggers framing her toned legs. Gray, and before I go forward, may I have your consent for the night? Yes. Ryan moaned almost involuntarily, the sound catching them both by surprise. Okay, I'm going to kiss you again, as a thank you for trusting me. I'm pulling back to look into your eyes, and traveling my hands down to your nipples to play with them. They're so perfect and pretty, baby. Damn. I can't wait to see you come for me. Do you want to come for me, Ryan? I can't hear you. Yes, I want to come for you. I want you inside of me, Sophie. Ryan said, her candid confession leaving her shook, not expecting to go there. That's my good girl. You look so good right now. I've been waiting for you all day, and I need you so bad right now. Do you need me? Sophie asked. Do you need me to make you feel good? Yes, I need you. Her fingers traced over her nipples, teasing them into hard peaks. She could almost feel Sophie's touch, the sensation so real in her mind. The conversation had taken a turn she hadn't expected, but she enjoyed the direction it was going. Stay put. Let me go grab something. Hurry up, don't be all day. I won't, Sophie promised. But when I come back, do you know what I want to see? What? I want to see your legs spread out on the bed with your eyes closed. Your breathing is slow and steady. And I want to see the rise and fall of your chest as you lie there, waiting for me to make a move. Fuck me, Ryan thought internally. She moved around in the bed, feeling her panties becoming damp by the second. She wished Sophie was there in person, but for now, the sound of her voice will do. Taking what Sophie wanted into consideration, she scooted to take her panties off and flung them on the floor somewhere. Her breathing became heavier as she waited for the woman to return. She could hear footsteps in the background, and she imagined Sophie walking back towards the bedroom, or wherever she was. Are you ready for me, Ryan? I'm ready. Good, because I'm ready for you too. Hearing the sound of something being set down, Ryan wondered what Sophie had brought back with her. I'm getting on my knees on the bed, and I want you to hook your leg on my shoulder. You know the drill. The image of Sophie on her knees, her face buried between Ryan's legs, was almost too much to handle. Without even realizing it, Ryan bent her knees, drawing her legs up until her feet were planted firmly on the bed. Working her fingers down her body, she teased her clit before sliding inside. Her hips bucked instinctively. Fuck, you taste so good. I don't think I ever tasted anything more sweeter. Is this all for me, baby? Ryan nodded, but Sophie was unable to see. Answer me. Are you dripping like this for me, Ryan? Yes, baby, it's only for you. Good. This pussy is all mine. Sophie let out a possessive growl. Wait, baby. Ryan's body tensed at the sudden change. "No," she moaned, her fingers stilling as she waited for Sophie to continue. "It's okay," Sophie reassured her. "I just don't want you to come yet. Can you wait for me, Rye?" The way she said her nickname so casually made Ryan's insides do a dance. She wanted nothing more than to give in to the pleasure shooting through her body, but she knew that Sophie was right. But damn it, she was on the verge of surrendering to the pent-up stress that had been amassing for months. "But I'm ready," she said in a baby-like voice. "I know, baby, but I got what you asked for. Remember, you wanted to feel me inside of you?" At the mention of feeling Sophie inside of her, Ryan's eyes rolled back in her head. She could almost feel it, the sensation of being filled up by the woman. "Do you still want that?" "Yes." "Give it to me." "Okay, give me a second." Ryan thought about the dildo she had bought a few months ago, which was now just lying idle in her nightstand drawer. She leaned over to grab it, relieved to find that it was still like new since she had barely used it. Without wasting another second, she hopped up and dashed to the bathroom to wash the dust off. As she hurriedly rinsed it off, under the running water, her heart pounded in her chest. She couldn't believe she was truly doing this, but having Sophie's voice in her ear was enough to make her feel daring. She quickly dried it off and ran back to her bed just as Sophie announced she was back through her ear. "I'm back. Can you tighten the straps around my hips for me?" "Thank you, baby. And rub some of that warming lube that you like on it." "Yeah, that's it." While on her end, Ryan used this time to rub her own lube on the dildo in her hands. She imagined Sophie standing before her, the strap-on around her hips. The thought of the woman's dominance as she took control made Ryan want to jump out of her skin. How was she able to react this way to a stranger on the phone? "How's that?" Ryan asked, getting back into character. "Perfect. So, what do you want to do tonight? You want to ride, or?" "I want you on top," Ryan said expeditiously. "I got you. Tonight, we're gonna focus on you. Open your legs nice and wide for me, please." Ryan whimpered and spread her legs even wider. She pictured Sophie's strong hands gliding down the dip of her waist, sending goosebumps all over her body. "Good job, baby. Damn, I could look at you forever. You're so beautiful. Don't ever take your eyes off me, okay?" Ryan nodded, her eyes locked on the image of Sophie in her mind. As the woman on the phone continued to guide her, she let the natural real-skin dildo rest on top of her clit, gently rubbing herself in tight, slow circles. She was no longer just lying in her bed alone. She was with Sophie, and they were exploring each other's bodies in ways that she had never thought were conceivable. "Do you feel me playing with your clit? Do you feel how I run my tip all around enough to get your wetness on me?" Ryan's hand moving faster now. "You let me know when you're ready, baby. You tell me to go." Ryan closed her eyes, building the anticipation as she played with herself some more. After a few moments, she whispered, "I'm ready, baby." In her mind, Sophie slid the tip of the strap-on inside, inch by inch. Ryan followed her lead with her own. The pressure of it slowly stretched her. She couldn't stop herself from gasping, throwing her head back and arching into the air. Her eyes rolled up in pleasure as she did the play-by-play of what Sophie wanted. Open just a little bit wider, okay? There we go. Damn. You feel so good around me. You feel me? Oh, I feel you. Yeah, Sophie panted. You like it when I grip your thighs like this? Yes. Her eyes fluttering closed. Look at me, Ryan, Sophie commanded. Ryan's eyes snapped open, and she realized with a start that Sophie couldn't see her. How did she know she had closed her eyes? Just like that. There you go. Baby, give it to me, Sophie coaxed. I'm hitting that spot you like. You feel that? I'm the only one who knows about this. No one else can hit it, I can. They don't know you like I do, Ryan. They don't know your body like I do. In and out, in and out. Ryan moved her hand and wrist, matching the beat of her heart and the rhythm Sophie was setting. Do you like the way I stroke you? Yes, don't stop. You're taking me so well tonight. You're open for me like you've never been. You miss me, don't you? Sophie, I'm close. Keep going, baby. Don't stop. There you go, I see you. This my shit, right? This my pussy, right? It's yours. Say it's my pussy, Sophie insisted. It's your pussy, baby. It's yours, and only yours. Ryan surrendered to the illusion of Sophie's ownership. It's no one else's but your pussy. That's right, baby, you're mine. Don't forget that. Now, I want you to come for me. Ryan. Fuck. Her body shook uncontrollably. The sensation was unfamiliar. A blend of euphoria and release that seemed to consume her whole being. Let it go, baby. You got this. Uh-huh. Stop holding on and let go for me. Oh, God. Sophie, I'm coming. There you go, my beautiful girl. Oh shit, Ryan, you look so good right now. It's okay, baby. Shh. You're good. I got you. She cried out Sophie's name again, not caring if she woke up the neighbors. The sheets beneath her grew hotter and wetter, and the mattress squeaked underneath her solo movements. Come on, you've got another one in you, don't you? Sophie urged. I know you can do it, baby. I believe in you. Ryan moaned, her body still trembling from the aftershocks of her first orgasm. She wasn't sure if she could do it again. Fuck. Come on, give me another one. Sophie pleaded. Please, baby, please. Can I have another one? She grew louder as she felt the second orgasm forming. Ryan tried to hold on, but the pressure became too much to resist, clenching her left fist in the sheets, her back curving slightly as her right hand continued to push and pull. She suspected Sophie increased the pace, matching her breath. She quaked as she came again, harder this time. Yep, that's it. Take me, Ryan. Take every inch of me. There you go, baby. Fuck shit, Rye. I'm about to come so hard. Do you feel me? Can you feel me coming inside of you? Yes, I can feel you. Though they both knew that this was all just talk, that there was no way for her to actually feel Sophie's release deep inside, she wished that it were true. She yearned to feel Sophie coming undone inside her. But science wasn't that advanced yet. Oh, fuck. Sophie moaned out her orgasm, her voice growing louder and more insistent. Ryan, you feel like heaven wrapped around me. It was too much for Ryan to bear, and she felt herself submit quickly to now her third release, though a little less powerful, but still ethereal. Sophie, I can't take it anymore. She was tired and sweaty as she lowered her legs. That's okay, my gorgeous girl. I'll slow down. I got you. You did so well. I'm so proud of you. Sophie, I can't move. I know, baby. I know. Let's just lay here for a minute, okay? Ryan really wished she could feel Sophie's body pressed against hers. I'm gonna pull out, okay? But Ryan didn't want her to. Her dildo was still buried deep. In her mind, she wanted to feel Sophie inside of her for just a little while longer. No, she protested. I want you to stay inside. Rye, I don't want to hurt you though, baby. You're gonna be sore in the morning. Ryan didn't care about the pain. She wanted to relish this moment for as long as possible. I don't care. Don't move. Well, you're a little bossy, huh? Sophie jabbed at Ryan's authoritative tone. Ryan giggled at that too. She was still trying to catch her breath and calm down from one of the best. No, 2, no, 3. 3 of the best orgasms of her life. She could only imagine if this was real. Let's make a deal. If you let me pull out, then we can cuddle. How does that sound? Rye. She knew Sophie was right, but she didn't want to let go of the feeling just yet. I guess. Ryan took a deep breath, preparing for the feeling of Sophie removing herself from inside of her. In bed, she began to ease out slowly, feeling the warmth and wetness of her juices slide off her toy. She tried not to moan at the loss of contact as she pulled completely out. Setting the toy aside, she used her index and middle fingers to lather up in the slipperiness. They felt suddenly cool and empty in the air as they left behind the hot folds of her sex. She could feel a small glob of her own cum on one of them. Put it in my mouth. Huh? Ryan was unsure if she had heard correctly. Put your fingers in my mouth. Sophie's tone left no room for doubt. I want to taste you. Ryan slowly brought her fingers to her own mouth, her eyes never leaving the image of Sophie that she had invoked in her mind. As her fingers slipped between her lips, she let out a quiet moan. At the same time, she could hear Sophie's own moan of pleasure. You're the best thing I ever tasted, Ryan. I don't think I could get enough of you. I want to go again, but I know you're tired. The thought of another climax was tempting, but her body simply wouldn't cooperate. I need a long nap first. Ryan could hear Sophie titter on the other end of the line, the sound almost making her reconsider her tiredness. I know, baby, and you deserve it. You were everything and more tonight. Sophie took a long breath. Okay, let me take this off. Damn, you made it kinda tight, baby. Ah, there we go. She could virtually feel the weight of Sophie lifting off her body. She was alone in her bed, but the vision was so real. Now turn on your side so I can hold you. Ryan did as she was told, rolling onto her side and pulling the covers up to her chest. She closed her eyes and pretended Sophie's arms were wrapped around her, holding her close. I have my chin tucked on your shoulder, kissing your skin, Sophie whispered in her ear. You have beautiful skin. Ryan felt the hair rise on her arms at the notion of Sophie's lips on her. That feels nice. She snuggled deeper into the covers. I'm glad you think so. You feel so good in my arms. I don't want to let you go. Ryan had never felt this way before, not with anyone. Sophie had opened up a whole new world for her, tapping into something deep down that she didn't even know existed. The room was quiet, save for the sound of their breathing and the few cars driving by outside. Thank you, Sophie. I really needed that. You're very welcome, Ryan. How do you feel? So relaxed right now. Can I stay on the phone with you? Ryan didn't want the moment to end. She wanted to keep hearing her voice. I would love that, Ryan. I really would. You have no idea. Sophie's response was gentle but apologetic. But you know they're charging your card by the minute. I don't want you to regret the bill. That reminder brought Ryan back to reality. She sat up on the bed, her shoulders slumping slightly. Right, you're right, plus you probably got other calls to take. No, it's not that at all. I take what I want. I just don't want this company to take advantage of you. The idea of giving Sophie her number had crossed her mind, but Ryan quickly dismissed it. She didn't know this woman, and this was her job. The thought of her not caring after they hung up made her stomach squeamish. Ryan, are you there? I'm here. Good, I was starting to worry you'd fallen asleep. No, but I should probably head to bed for work in the morning. Though Ryan was reluctant to hang up. Of course, I understand. I just want you to know that this was an unforgettable night for me. I really enjoyed talking to you. Ryan felt a lump form in her throat. She didn't want to say goodbye, but she knew she had to. Me too, she said softly. I guess, have a good life. She wasn't sure what else to say. She didn't want to disconnect, but she knew she had to. You too, gorgeous. I hope I get the pleasure of talking to you again. Good night. And then the line clicked. She was prompted to stay on the line to rate her experience. She didn't hesitate to give Sophie a perfect score of 5 out of 5. If she could go higher, she would. She couldn't shake the feeling that people like Sophie didn't exist in her real world. She had always struggled to find someone who could make her feel the way Sophie had just made her feel. She wondered who this stranger was and what her life was like. Was she just as lonely as Ryan was? Did she have someone to share her life with? Ryan knew it was silly, but she questioned if she had just lost something special. Reluctantly standing up, her legs wobbled and blood rushed to her head. Lifting her arms, she raised them above her head, feeling the soreness set in through the raspy voice on the phone had made her feel so alive and desired. She reached for the toy that was lying next to her on the bed and took it with her into the bathroom. She looked at herself in the mirror, smiling. Extending for a washcloth, she ran it under warm water and used it gently to clean up. Afterward, she rinsed off the dildo under the faucet. While the water was running, she laughed at herself, realizing that she had never given it a name. Maybe I should name it after Sophie, she thought, amused by the idea. Sophie the DJ, she said out loud, snickering at the thought. Or maybe not, she added, shaking her head with a grin. As she lay down, she speculated about Sophie's appearance and life. She wished she could see her in person and feel her touch. But for now, she would have to settle for the memories of their phone call. Scene 4. Sophie, typically a stickler for routine, ended up on an unusual metro route heading downtown due to a last-minute interview at Wayne Enterprises. This would be her third interview. After the first 2 virtual ones went well, they wanted to meet her in person. She had even taken the day off from her current job to prepare. As she reviewed the Wayne Enterprises research file in her lap, her eyes fell upon a woman sitting across from her in the nearly empty car. The woman looked to be about her age, early 30s, with a stylish, professional outfit that complemented her petite, curvy frame. One hand held her phone to her ear as she chatted about numbers and other things that Sophie couldn't comprehend. She watched the woman's lively facial expressions, the flash of white teeth contrasting with smooth ebony skin. Sophie tilted her head, straining to catch more snippets of the woman's conversation. That voice, a little nasally, but still distinct, with a playful lilt even when discussing something as mundane as spreadsheets. She was sure she had heard it before. Sophie tried to focus on the file in her lap, but she kept drifting back to the woman sitting across from her. When her eyes landed on the ID badge dangling from the woman's bag, she almost fell out of her seat. Ryan Wilder. She flashed back to the voice that had captivated her over the phone a few weeks ago. What were the chances that this Ryan, now sitting across from her, was the same woman she couldn't seem to shake? She couldn't tear her eyes away, studying each gesture and expression for hints of recognition. It was not like she knew what she looked like. Everything in her wanted to say something to confirm if this was really her. But revealing herself felt too risky here, amid the public chatter and screeching rails. As the train slowed, Ryan gathered up her things to exit. Sophie was desperate to follow, but stayed rooted in place as their eyes briefly met. She watched Ryan step onto the platform and disappear from view before finally releasing the breath she had unconsciously been holding. She remembered when Ryan first called that night. Most of her clients were usually pretty direct about what they wanted from her, but there was something endearing about the newcomer's awkwardness and rambling. It was cute, just as she had said. Sophie sensed the other woman loosening up as the conversation continued, her confidence shining through. The playful joking they fell into was really enjoyable. Ryan had such a great sense of humor and wasn't afraid to tease right back. She loved that. Once she started to open up and let go, literally, it was incredible for Sophie. The way Ryan responded to her words, the sounds she made, it was like they were in the same room, sharing that moment together. Sophie could feel her energy, her passion, and it was exhilarating. She had had many intimate conversations with clients before, but this felt different. More personal, more intense. Maybe it was because they had already established a connection before things turned erotic. Or perhaps it was just the unique chemistry between them. Either way, it was an experience she wouldn't forget anytime soon. And Sophie could tell from the other woman's reactions that Ryan felt the same way. There was a vulnerability and trust there that was rarely seen in her line of work. It was a rare and beautiful thing. When they did eventually hang up, she felt disappointed, which was crazy since she talked to new people every night and rarely thought twice about it. She replayed their conversation in her mind every day, wondering what Ryan was really like beyond the brief glimpse she got. A few days later, on the same metro, Sophie's eyes remained glued to her phone screen as she stepped onto the crowded subway car, thumbs tapping out a response to her sister's latest drama-filled text. The familiar roar of the train drowned out the usual morning commuter small talk, allowing her to focus on composing her advice. A rush of laughter from nearby cut through her concentration. She glanced up, an automated reflex, before doing a double take. It was her. Today, she wore a fitted burgundy dress that showed off her sexy figure, paired with a black blazer and heels. Hearing the voice in person again, as she chatted with two other people, Sophie had no doubt this was indeed her Ryan. As the train slowed, Ryan's friends stood to exit, while Sophie remained seated, still chattering away. But the impulse made Sophie get to her feet as well, and make her way to the doors behind the group. She didn't let herself overthink it, didn't talk herself out of it this time. She stepped out onto the platform, keeping several paces behind them. Up ahead, Ryan split off on her own while her friends crossed the street. When Ryan neared the intersection, Sophie saw her opportunity slipping away. She hurried to close the gap between them. 6 feet away, poised right on the edge of the curb, she finally worked up the courage to call out. "Excuse me?" Sophie cringed at the awkward crack in her voice. Ryan turned around with a slightly confused look on her face, but didn't say anything. Sophie quickened her pace to close the distance between them. "Sorry, I know this is going to sound crazy, but you sound exactly like someone I spoke to recently." Ryan's head tilted slightly as Sophie stumbled along. "On the phone, I mean, for work." She played with her bag strap nervously. "I'm Sophie, by the way." Ryan's eyes dilated, and she was at a loss for words. A loaded silence fell between them, the hustle of pedestrians fading into white noise. "It's you," she finally whispered, her eyes tracing every inch of Sophie's face, seeing her for the first time. "You're Sophie from..." Sophie bit her lip and nodded to show Ryan she understood, and they were on the same page. "You sound like yourself," she said. Who else am I supposed to sound like? I know, it's weird, Sophie laughed self-consciously, but I recognized your voice from our phone call and then on the train, so I had to come really see if you were you, and now here we are. The walk signal changed, but neither woman noticed, lost in replaying this unexpected collision. Yeah, here we are. Ryan glanced at her watch. Are you headed to work? Oh, I have orientation for a new job today, but I left crazy early just in case I saw you again. I'm glad I did. Ryan gave her a breathtaking smile that made Sophie's breath catch. Well, in that case, would you like to walk with me? She gestured down the street. I'm just a few blocks away. I'd love that. Sophie fell into step beside her. While they walked together, the energy shifted into easy chatter. Ryan asked about her new job, and Sophie opened up about leaving her old temp engineer associate role for a more permanent one at Wayne Enterprises as a level 4. I just couldn't pass up the opportunity. I'm so excited to finally put my expensive-ass master's degree to use the right way. That's amazing. Congratulations. We do a little work with Wayne Enterprises, so I'm familiar with them. They're fortunate to have you. Just hoping I live up to their expectations. I don't doubt you will, Ryan assured surely. She studied Ryan's confident energy compared to their call. Had their roles reversed? Sophie stood taller, deciding to match the energy head-on. They walked on, both hyper-aware of each graze of their arms along the busy stretch. She stole repeated glances at Ryan's profile, still processing how fantasy had manifested. Fate, undoubtedly, delivered this beauty right into her world. Turning the corner, the glass doors of the office came into view. Pausing outside, Ryan pivoted to face her. Neither seemed ready for their surreal meeting to end. I'd love to keep talking over dinner sometime, if you're interested. Sophie held her breath, praying she hadn't misread Ryan's friendliness. I'd love that. Ryan offered her phone. Here, put your number in. Just as Sophie typed in her contact, Ryan teased, Sophie's your real name though, right? I was gonna put myself in as Barry White, actually. You're still a smartass, huh? I'll never change, she typed Sophie with a heart emoji, then forwarded Ryan's number to herself. I still can't believe it's really you. Ryan's eyes mapped over Sophie's traits. And wow, you're tall. I'm average. You're just short. See, this isn't going to work if you continue to come for me like that, Ryan declared, holding her head high with an arrogance that quickly dissolved back into giggles. Sophie joined in, happy to learn Ryan's sense of humor translated smoothly from the phone to in person. So, I probably should have mentioned this first, but I'm not doing those late-night calls anymore with that hotline. After I got the Wayne offer, I realized I was all set financially. It just didn't feel right, continuing that gig if money wasn't a motivator. While the money had initially been needed, Sophie was ready to put that chapter behind her. and focus on more meaningful goals now that she had landed her dream job. Ryan blinked, clearly processing this new information. As touching as Sophie's admission was, she couldn't deny the satisfaction of knowing the woman wouldn't be giving such intimate attention to other lonely souls anymore. Yet she also knew any occupation wouldn't change her curiosity over the charming woman standing before her. Sophie's amber eyes were fixed on Ryan's face, awaiting a reaction. I appreciate you telling me, though you didn't have to. I respect what you do or did regardless. Ryan tilted her head, taking in Sophie's athletic frame and intelligent eyes. I have to admit, I was fascinated by you, even as just a voice over the phone. Meeting you now, seeing you as your whole self, I'm even more interested to learn about the woman behind that voice. They both thought this long-shot connection could lead to something real. The chirp of Ryan's phone cut through their thoughts. Ryan glanced at the screen, lips twisting in regret. Ugh, that's my boss, she said apologetically, meeting Sophie's eyes. Text me about dinner? Of course, Sophie nodded, hoping her disappointment didn't show. While Ryan typed out a quick response to her boss, she took the chance to drink in the sight of her, committing every detail to memory. Just then, a voice called out, "There you are, Rye." Sophie looked over to see a tall, beautiful woman waving at Ryan from half a block away. With long braids and a floral maxi dress, the woman stood out among the crowd of business suits. That's my friend Anissa. We work together. Anissa hurried over, scanning between the two of them curiously. She settled on Sophie, lips spreading into an approving grin. Well, damn, who's your fine friend? Feeling thrilled, amused, and slightly embarrassed by the once-over, she offered her hand, wanting to be a good sport for Ryan's friend. I'm Sophie. Nice to meet you. She cringed internally at the vast oversimplification. And it's very nice to meet you. Any friend of Ryan's? Ryan cleared her throat, shooting Anissa a don't you start look. I really gotta run, but Sophie, we'll talk later. Definitely, yeah. She gave Ryan's hand a quick squeeze, sparks shooting up her arm. Her smile in return made Sophie's knees weak. With visible effort, Sophie forced herself to back away down the sidewalk, keeping her eyes locked on the other woman, trusting her feet to steer clear of pedestrian traffic. Have a good day, she called over her shoulder. Ryan waved, finally turning to head inside with Anissa. Sophie watched them go, already planning out in her head where to take Ryan for dinner. She practically floated down the sidewalk towards the train. Inside the elevator, Anissa turned to Ryan. Chilly, how'd you meet that fine-ass woman? Ryan just smirked secretively as she hit the button for their floor. Anissa nudged her shoulder. Oh, come on, details. When Ryan remained silent, Anissa huffed dramatically. Ryan bit her lip. She was dying to tell someone about the crazy coincidence of meeting Sophie. And out of all her friends, Anissa would best appreciate the bizarre happenstance. Technically, she was the one that was behind all of this anyway. If Anissa hadn't given her that number, then who knows? As the elevator ascended, she made a split-second decision. She linked her arm through Anissa's. That was DJ. DJ. Ryan fixed her with a look. trying to get her friend to understand and put two and two together. After a long beat, Anissa's eyes jumped out of the sockets when it clicked. DJ? From the hotline. DJ? Yep. You actually called that number? Maybe. Ryan drawled, thoroughly enjoying herself now. Well, damn. Anissa shook her head in amazed disbelief as the elevator slowed altogether. Ryan never thought she'd experience the day she'd leave her friend in silent disbelief, but that didn't last long. So, did you play any tracks from DJ's set? I had her whole playlist on repeat. Ryan winked and Anissa nearly combusted. What? Ryan? She couldn't believe how open and casual Ryan was being about this. Ryan tried and failed to restrain her giggles at her dramatic college friend. After that night, she felt more relaxed than she had in a long time. She felt lighter, both physically and mentally, and it wasn't surprising that she couldn't stop thinking about Sophie. Even though she didn't think they'd ever speak again, Sophie made Ryan feel more open to exploring her own needs. Oh, what? Now you ain't gonna say nothing? You just gonna laugh in my face after I gave you that number, out of the kindness of my heart? My bad. My bad. Anissa continued ranting theatrically. I present you ass with a life-changing service, and suddenly you turn mute, huh? I might have introduced you to your future wife, and this is the thanks I get? As the doors opened, Ryan stepped out, calling sweetly over her shoulder, "Have a good day, boo." She laughed out loud, hearing Anissa's exaggerated groan from down the hallway. Still chuckling to herself, she entered her office. She sank into her office chair and intended to get started on paperwork, but her attention kept wandering back to a certain attractive woman. Glancing down after seeing her phone light up, Ryan bit her lip when she saw Sophie's name. She had already researched a few restaurants on OpenTable for their dinner and wanted Ryan's preference. This is what she's been missing. No presumptuous assumptions or aloof I'll let you know games. Sophie was already on top of it, showing her intentions right away. Fingers tapping out her choice, Ryan reflected back that Sophie's directness and self-assurance mirrored that magnetic voice that had talked her through 3 mind-blowing orgasms. Who would have thought that the initially embarrassing phone call would lead Ryan to meet her special someone?